What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. In today's video we're taking a super quick look at the latest mid-range device from Honor. This right here is called the Honor 70. Now I've also included a full camera comparison between my iPhone 13 and the Honor 70. There are about 100 sample pictures and videos, and if you're here and you just want to see the camera comparison, that one starts at this minute of this video. So you can skip right to that camera comparison. Alright, starting with a super quick unboxing, just so I can show you what comes in the box with the Honor 70. Alright, so in the box there is a clear case for the device. That's a nice addition because this way you don't have to spend extra for a case. We have a USB-A to a USB-C cable, and then we have a 66 watt fast charger. So charging the device from 0 to 100 with the charger that comes in the box takes about 45 minutes, so from 0 to 100. Inside the device we also have a 4800 mAh battery, and on one charge you can get up to 10 hours of screen on time. Of course, it really depends how you use the phone, because if you're just playing games you're not going to be able to get those 10 hours of screen on time, but if you're just watching videos you could get up to 10 hours of screen on time. As I mentioned earlier, the Honor 70 is a mid-range device. So this one is powered by the Snapdragon 778 that's paired with either 8 or 12 gigs of RAM. I personally have the version with 8 gigs of RAM, and this device gets an Antutu benchmark score of about 550,000, but that is on the performance mode. Now the phone performs better than you'd expect, taking in consideration that Antutu benchmark score. So all the applications that I've tried on it, like Facebook for example, scrolling up and down, Chrome zooming in, zooming out, and even games do perform really well for a mid-range device. So performance-wise, for a mid-range device that's powered by that Snapdragon 778, I think the phone performs really well. And this one also runs Android 12. Design-wise, well, even though the phone looks fairly similar with most other phones available on the market, the back is a bit different. So the finish on the back does reflect the light in a pretty special way, I'm gonna say. So the back is a bit more unique on it. On the back there we also have three cameras. We have the main camera, we have an ultra-wide camera, another camera that's used for portrait mode pictures. Now on the front here we have an OLED display. This is a 6.67 inches OLED display that has a 1080p resolution and a refresh rate of 120 Hz. Now the peak brightness on the screen is not mentioned anywhere, so I'm not sure of the exact peak brightness, but you can easily see the phone in direct sunlight. So I'm gonna assume that the peak brightness on this screen is somewhere between 1200 nits and 1300 nits. So overall a beautiful screen on this device, not to mention that we also have curved edges. So I guess that feature is there, so the phone looks a bit more premium. The phone also supports an in-screen fingerprint scanner, and that in-screen fingerprint scanner does seem to work quite well. So you just touch it and it unlocks. Of course, even if the screen is off, it will unlock. So a fairly quick fingerprint scanner as well. The phone's frame is also made out of metal, and of course that adds a bit to that premium look and feel. On the right hand side here we have the volume buttons and the power button, and at the bottom we have the slot for the SIM card. The device can take two SIM cards, but it doesn't take an SD card. We have the USB-C charging port, and then we have the holes for the speaker. Unfortunately, this is the only speaker available. So the lot of mid-range phones we get one speaker at the bottom and one at the top. Well, with this one we only get one speaker, and even though the speaker doesn't sound bad, it's still one speaker. Now, one thing that I want to mention regarding all Honor phones, all new Honor phones, has to do with the Google services. So I've seen this question under a lot of videos. Does the device come with Google services? Can it use Google services? So Honor is not part of Huawei anymore. The Honor brand was actually sold off maybe a couple of years ago. So all Honor phones, yes, have the Google Play services pre-installed. It has nothing to do with Huawei anymore. So you can use Gmail, you can use the Google Play Store, and basically all the Google apps. Just in case you're wondering, because I did see this question quite often. So Honor is not part of Huawei anymore, even though this phone does feel like a Huawei phone in many ways. So just in case you're wondering. So to quickly conclude the review part of this video, just before we start that camera comparison, the Honor 70 is a really nice phone, considering that it is a mid-range device and it's not that expensive. We get a great looking screen, we get great battery life, great performance. So overall for the price you can't really go wrong with this phone. And with that being said, let's start that camera comparison. I think we're gonna start by checking out some portrait mode pictures that I took with the Honor 70 and of course my iPhone 13. Alright, so after checking out those portrait mode pictures that I took, I gotta say that I kind of like the colors and the added contrast that we get in the pictures taken by the Honor 70. But on the other hand, dynamic range in the pictures taken by the iPhone 13 is way better. So for that reason alone, I feel that for those portrait mode pictures, the iPhone 13 did better. But definitely leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Next, we're gonna move on and check out some 5x zoom pictures that I took with both devices. Keep in mind that neither device has a telephoto lens, so everything that you are seeing is basically digital zoom. Well, here there is really no comparison. The Honor 70 does better in every single picture that I took with 5x zoom. So the pictures are sharper, and I guess that's the most important part. So for 5x zoom pictures, the Honor 70 will do better. Moving on to some pictures that I took with the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices. Well, here I have to say that I kind of prefer every single picture that I took with the Honor 70. First of all, the dynamic range seems to be slightly better in the pictures taken by the Honor 70. Then the saturation in those pictures is a bit more, but not overwhelming from the pictures taken by the Honor 70. And the pictures also seem a bit sharper. So for that ultra-wide camera, I feel that the Honor 70 does a bit better than the iPhone 13. Next, we're gonna move on and check out some pictures that I took with the main cameras on the back of the two devices. Of course, all the pictures are taken on auto mode and about a second apart from each other. For these pictures, the first thing I've noticed is the fact that the Honor 70 is using somewhat more saturated colors, however, not overwhelmingly saturated. So in many of those pictures, I actually prefer the colors that we get from the Honor 70. Now, for dynamic range, it almost looks like the iPhone 13 does better in a couple of those pictures, but overall it's gonna be really hard to choose the one that does better for the main camera and of course that auto mode. So for some of those pictures, I actually prefer the Honor 70. For some of them, I prefer the iPhone 13. So I'll let you guys watch a few more pictures that with the main cameras, and I will be right back so you can check out some nighttime pictures. Alright, so for nighttime pictures, both devices support a night mode for the main camera and for the ultra-wide camera, and all the pictures that you're seeing on your screen right now, of course, are taken using the night modes available on both devices. And we are starting with the pictures that I took with the main cameras. Now, for most of those pictures, the iPhone 13 seems to have the somewhat brighter pictures, just a bit brighter, and also a bit sharper, slightly sharper, even though the Honor 70 does seem to handle those lights around the street in buildings a bit better than the iPhone 13. Now, taking in consideration the price difference between these two devices, because for the price of an iPhone 13 you can actually buy two Honor 70s, I feel that the Honor 70 does extremely well for those nighttime pictures. So even though the picture quality is slightly better from the iPhone 13, you can't really go wrong with the Honor 70 using the night mode and that main camera, at least in my opinion. But definitely leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And moving on to pictures that I took with the ultra-wide cameras. Now, the iPhone 13 was never known to take good, decent pictures with the night mode and the ultra-wide camera. And here, for pretty much all the pictures that I took, it seems that the cheaper Honor 70 does better. So most of those pictures that I took are sharper from the Honor 70. So if you're just using that ultra-wide camera, you will get better results from the cheaper device, which is the Honor 70, when compared to the iPhone 13. So yeah, I feel that for the price you can't really go wrong with the Honor 70 and nighttime pictures. Alright, so next we're gonna move on and check out some sample video recordings that I took with both these devices. And yes, overall the iPhone 13 still has the edge for the video quality, but I was actually pleasantly surprised by the video quality that we got from the Honor 70. You're actually gonna see for yourself. The video quality is getting really close to the iPhone video quality. So I'll let you guys watch those video recordings. Definitely let me know your thoughts about the video quality, and I will see you after those sample videos. Alright, we have a quick video recording between the Honor 70 and the iPhone 13. For this recording, I'm using the main cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. I'm also walking. I'm trying to keep the phones as steady as possible, but you may see some movement depending how well the stabilization on these two devices works. So I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna pan left. So kind of towards the sun. So yeah, this is how recording would look like between the Honor 70 and the iPhone 13 if you're using the main cameras and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. Moving on to our next recording between the Honor 70 and the iPhone 13. For this recording, I'm using the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. Now, with iPhone 13, we could also do 4K at 60 frames per second with that ultra-wide camera, where the maximum recording resolution for the Honor 70 is 4K at 30 frames per second. I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna pan left slowly. And back right. So yeah, this is how recording done with the ultra-wide cameras and 4K at 30 frames per second between these two devices would look like. And we are moving on to a quick video test done with the front-facing cameras on the Honor 70 and of course on the iPhone 13. Now the maximum recording resolution for the Honor 70 with the front-facing camera is 1080p at 30 frames per second. Of course with the iPhone 13 we can do 4K at 60 frames per second with that front-facing camera. I'm also walking as fast as I can just so you can see how the stabilization works for the front-facing camera, of course, whenever you are recording videos. So yeah, this is how recording done with these two devices would look like. Alright, we have a quick video recording in low light between the Honor 70 and of course the iPhone 13. For this recording, I'm using the main cameras on the back of the two devices and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. That is the maximum recording resolution for the Honor 70. However, with the iPhone 13, I could also do 4K at 60 frames per second with that main camera. I'm gonna stop here. We're gonna pan right slowly. It is a bit noisy around here, so you may hear some noise aside from my voice. And I guess we'll keep panning right. So yeah, this is how recording would look like between the iPhone 13 and the Honor 70 if you're using the main cameras and recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. And we are moving on to our second recording between the Honor 70 and of course the iPhone 13. For this recording, I'm using the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices and once again recording in 4K at 30 frames per second. That is the maximum resolution that you can record with the Honor 70. So we're gonna stop here, we're gonna pan right slowly. Now we do have a lot of street lights around here, but I figured most people would probably record under these kind of conditions. So we'll walk this way for a bit. So yeah, this whole recording would look like if you're using the ultra-wide cameras on the back of the two devices and recording at night basically. So I gotta give it to Honor, the video quality that we got from the Honor 70 was way better than I was expecting. I think the video quality from this phone is actually better than that their flagship, the Magic 4 Pro. Well, at least in my opinion, but if I remember right, the video quality from that one was not that impressive, and with this one I was pleasantly surprised. Alright, next we're gonna move on and check out some selfies, and of course we are starting with some daytime selfies. Well, for daytime selfies there is really no comparison. Every single selfie that I took with the iPhone 13 looks better, the colors are better, the picture sharpness is better. But then when we move on to nighttime selfies, it seems that the Honor 70 does better for all nighttime selfies. So if I would be to choose one, the iPhone 13 for daytime selfies, but the Honor 70 for nighttime selfies. So there you have it. What do you guys think about the Honor 70? I mean, taking in consideration that this phone is half the price of an iPhone 13, I feel that it did really well for pictures and videos. Alright guys, hopefully this video was useful. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.